Well, thank you very much for giving your attention. I was born myself in the fourth generation, and my great-great-grandfather, they were agricultural experts in Madhya Pradesh since 1904. I was born in 1975 as a fourth generation, and there are things that you may have heard about silver spoon. I was born in a golden spoon. Because what I used to see is a family with 100 plus members, with a sort of a kitchen with 30 members all the time cooking, fancy things in those era. By the time I reached my adolescence, 11, 12 years, I saw everything diminishing, going away, and by the time I reached my adulthood, all gone. And all gone was very painful experience, because when you see 100 members family could not hold a 400 acres of land and the immense fortune and prosperity that once they had, it's all now distributed, gone, and never to come back. It's a huge pain. Fortunately, I had my share of life path laid ahead when I went in London in 1997, started serving family businesses, being in the private wealth division for Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley, that nature allowed me, or universe or God, I don't know what, but they put me back into serving family businesses. And I was like, well, that's interesting, because now I can use my infinite pain that I had in my childhood to try to convert that in sort of some kind of relief for some other people. And that's exactly became my calling and mission. I wouldn't make anything more fancy than that. It's absolutely personal and accidental, rather. So that's how Soch actually as a company got born. I worked for 25 plus years with families, been very privileged to work with families, 300 years old families as well, based out of Britain and Central Europe. I'll just sum up in a very simplistic way. A family is poised to have these two dots, the youngest and the oldest, and they are connected with this golden thread. Meeta gave a beautiful expression to values, and that's the golden thread of values, that the youngest and the oldest are connected. And these two, what I believe is, they are the eternity points. They would forever go on if the thread is connected. Now, whether you create constitution to keep that thread connected, you create governance, you create whatever you do, but then you know what, that's exactly the thread that needs to be, the thread of belonging that needs to be there in the family. Who we are, 25 years plus, 5 continents, 167 family business and owners, generation first to 9th generation as we serve. This is just very simple, you can say, areas where we focus: the ownership, the family, the business. And I would say the complexity that everyone understands that arises when all these three come in play. They're intertwined, they're interconnected, they're inseparable, and that's where it all starts very interesting. So that's our play, that's what we do. Some beliefs, the beliefs that we operate with. Number one, no two family are familiar. Someone in the panel, I can't remember, sorry, but they did mention this point, that no two family are same. And that's the very important thing. Human life is short, but institutions are perpetual. Everyone understands that, but admission to this gives them a new perspective that, yeah, actually, we can get old, we can die, but why should our business? What you stand for drives, basically, values. What you really stand for drives you. Fourth, ownership mindset matters. Unfortunately, what happened when we hear things over and over and over and over again, they reduce in their intensity, they reduce in their understanding. So ownership mindset is probably the overly used term, but it has a very humongous impact onto the longevity of the family business itself. So if you notice, in the ownership mindset, we aim to get as deep in our understanding as we can to figure out the consciousness and the mindset of the family, mainly the ownership members. Because I guess beneath this belief, there is one belief: your decisions define your destiny. It's like money gets compounded over the period of time, so are your decisions. When you make decision today, You make decision 1 year after, each decision is like compounding to the next level. So you get the effect of that. Personalized solution, obviously, no two families are same. So it's needless to explain, You got to have very, very different maturity levels. You have to assess that and then create the solutions. Okay. Frankly, everything boils down to these three things in our share of experience: money, power, love. The better we have our understanding onto, what wealth, prosperity, abundance really differentiates, how could some families, and you all know this is not a new knowledge anymore, that there are families in the world in 16th generation, in 40th generation. You all know that. This is not new. But we need to ask ourselves, are they different species than who we are? They're not. They're the same human beings. Being a consultation member or consultant or coach, whatever you call, I had worked with several skin colors across the world. And something very funny I come across after 25 years, that beneath the skin, we are all humans. And in an intimate relationship, in family, we behave in absolutely same way. We have fear of losing love, we have fear of losing wealth, we have power games. So usually families, irrespective, they're Indian, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, American, London, they usually are the same human being, beneath the skin. But these three things, if we understand, really helps us. So if we are here for these reasons, then I would say it's all the noise and perhaps bullshit. A reason I say that is we need to go really we need to ask ourselves, why are we here? We believe that, family business such as yours must work on themselves because you believe that they deserve go on and on and on in a more prospering way, in a more wealth creating way. But at the same time, harmony is the word the panel used, very, very beautiful word. Harmony is the bedrock on which wealth can be created. Or at least wealth needs to be preserved. Wealth needs to be prevailed. If you lose harmony, it cannot be prevailed. You can create, but then you need to prevail it. And all these things matters. All these things matters. So one of the most important thing I feel when I speak with family business is somehow they have this really dark or really kind of bad feeling that we don't deserve it. I don't know why they have this. They gotta really feel they deserve it. And that's where it all starts. I think there are a lot of jargons we use today, and there are a lot of jargons we use in our daily lives, but frankly, this is it. It's if we understand the simple things are hard, like the panel used today, open and honest conversation. How many times really do people not know open and honest conversation kya hota hai? Kyun karna zaruri hai? Do we not know that? Do we really not know that? Do we need a consultant for that? Do we need a mentor for that? We all know this, but simple is hard. And if we admit it, then the next level of wisdom is, let's take on the hard thing to make our life easy. Because we pick the easy and we are making our life hard in the long run. And we all know that. And it's not just applicable to family business. It's applicable to your health. It's applicable to your wealth. It's applicable to everything that we care and that we love. So take on the hard thing today. In fact, it's easy, right? To figure out the hard thing. Just ask yourself, what are the hard things I'm avoiding? And you get the answer. Pop, 3 things I'm avoiding. As simple as that. So, legacies are not built by chance, but by the choice. And again, this is not a new knowledge. But if we just have a sincere confession that actually, did we ever make a choice? Or we remain between the choice. We conveniently switch between the choices and we take on the flow and create stories between the flow. So I end here and thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for listening to this.